I'm Taryn Tyler.
I'm Hallie Tyler.
And we are
the Scribbler Sisters. Today we are in downtown San Diego at the Old Town Cemetery with Sadie.
To talk about some of her spooky reads.
Hi. Alright, so what books do you got for us today?
So I'm going to start with my first favorite, like my favorite of all time. This is what started pretty much macabre Sadie. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz. This is pretty much what got me into like all the horror that I like now. Ever since I was like 10 or something like that. I would read this to my brother to scare him. So that's why I like this book.
Sounds and then like an evil sister.
Did he have nightmares?
Yes, I was pretty evil as a little sister. And then I also fell in love with the art. The art is probably one of my favorite things about the book. It definitely is an inspiration of mine and what I'd like to actually draw. So that's that one.
What's it about?
Just multiple scary stories.
Just like short stories?
Just short stories. It doesn't take long to read, but it's something that it's just pretty cool.
Awesome.
This is describes itself as Stephen King meets Mean Girls type of thing. It's really kind of interesting. There's 4 books out by Danielle Vega. She is really good. They're all like Stephen King type characters. So she describes everything really well. It's on the edge of my seat. Every time I read one of these books, I was like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? I read these so quickly. But this one is about pretty much high school, this is a new girl and she comes in and befriends another girl who is like an outcast, I would say. Mm-hmm. And starts hanging out with her, and then these other girls come in, just like Mean Girls. Like they come in and they befriend her, and then pretty much they think that she has like the devil inside of her. And so they pretty much torture her, like take her to an abandoned house and torture her. There's a bunch of twists. I don't want to give away the ending, but there's a bunch of twists in it. I really suggest this book. It was really good. Probably one of my favorites nowadays. And
does it have that kind of like chick lit writing style where it's more fast paced and a little less like poetic details?
Yeah, it's a little bit more fast paced.
Okay.
Yeah. And then she's starting a new series, which I haven't caught.
And it's a 4-book series.
It is a 4-book series. Another one of my favorites, this is actually one of my newer favorites. I was actually never really into Stephen King. I did like the movie The Shining, but recently I've become a lover of Stephen King, and it is It. The classic It.
But it's got clowns.
It does. It's weird. I'm terrified of clowns, but It. I don't know what it is.
It's got it.
It's got it. It's got it. So Stephen King. Everybody knows Stephen King, the king of horror. It drew me in because I was really terrified of clowns. You guys know how terrified I am. But I was like, you know what? I want to get over those fears, and that's what he said October is about, getting over your fears. So I watched the movie again, and I was like, okay, Tim Curry, all I pictured was Rocky Horror, so I was like, it wasn't bad. Like, I couldn't picture him out of that, so I just imagined Rocky Horror. Like, that's what I imagined, is why I watched the original version of it.
Put your hands on your head.
So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to make I am not gonna lie though, I have not finished this because my
ginormous.
It's a pretty good book.
This looks like if you want a long reader.
My attention span is not that great, so I will continue to read it. It's actually my goal to finish it by my birthday next year, which I'm sure I could do it if I actually sat down and took the time. But Stephen King is great. He keeps you on the edge of your seat. You want to know what happens next. He brings characters to life. He's just all around amazing. And then, of course, even the new movie, It was probably one of my favorites, but I love Bill Skarsgård. Of course, if you know me, it's all about Poe. The Raven, A Dream Within a Dream, Annabelle Lee, may I go on? I'm sure you all know. If you don't know, then get yourself one of these books and know it, because you should know it.
Get on that.
Get on it. Poe. The Black Cat. If you don't know Poe, you need to get this because it's great. definitely one of my biggest inspirations for my poetry. I like dark and macabre, and Edgar Allan Poe was probably would have been my soulmate probably if I grew up in that time, but they describe him really well in the actually the first line in this book: self-destructive, melancholic, and usually dressed in black. That is me, all me. Of course not today, but
It's because you're summoning demons.
I'm summoning demons.
Yeah, she's busy summoning demons.
So yep, that's Edgar Allan Poe, one of my favorites.
So you mentioned that you write poetry.
I do.
So if some of our watchers wanted to read your poetry, where would they find it?
See, I actually don't post it very much, or actually not at all.
I saw one.
Yes, the other day I did for National Poetry Day. I did actually post one of my poems, and it was definitely a big step for me because I don't really share a lot of it because it is, like I said, very dark and macabre, and I guess I don't feel like a lot of people understand that very much. But even though, like I say that, there's a lot of people who understand it. But I do want to start posting my own poetry. There was actually a comment left on one of it from an actual author who has posted a poetry book. So,
but where are we posting this? Where would it be?
oh,
What's the Instagram?
I'm sorry, Instagram. So black_mirror.
She also has a lot of really good photography on
Yeah.
there.
Edgar Allan Poe is actually definitely an inspiration for my poetry and for my photography, and as well, there's anything dark, macabre, raven, crow.
Why do you think that gravitate towards the dark, macabre style?
Why do I?
Yeah.
I honestly I don't know exactly. Like I said, it's Edgar Allan Poe all the way. When I started reading it, I was like, I want to be him. So I don't know. I feel like it's just him. That made me really think. And then of course Halloween. Obviously, I've always been a huge fan of Halloween. You guys know I like to go all out for Halloween. So it brought me towards
All the best people do.
Yeah. So of course, me going to graveyards during Halloween and stuff like that has been
Obvi.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. You can follow me on Taryn_Tyler_author.
And I am Hallie_Tyler.
And we're signing off. Quoth the Sadie, nevermore.